in New Jersey history. And we're talking about Damion Hahn, the senior from Lakewood at 35-0, the top seed, taking on Troy Bennett, the junior from Paulsboro, the second seed at 33-1. Damion Hahn in the blue, white, and also a little gray thrown in from Lakewood. His numbers are staggering. The most falls in New Jersey history at 89. The longest winning streak ever in New Jersey history, 101 wins. And the most takedowns in a season, 192. He has not been scored on in 2 years.
And he quickly picks up another takedown, just 9 seconds into the bout.
So Damion Hahn leads it by a score of 2-0 over Troy Bennett from Paulsboro.
Damion Hahn goes the optional start, cuts Bennett.
Makes the score 2-1.
I think it's safe to say that Damion Hahn is the complete package.
Well, he's on his way to Minnesota. I know for a fact that the first day of signing periods, when recruiting was going on, the coaches were lined up at his door. One coach told me it was about a 3 or 4 coach wait to get in his
But Minnesota was fortunate enough to land him, and Damion will make a great addition to that program. Minnesota just coming off a Big Ten win, dethroned Iowa, so that program is going somewhere.
And then you add a wrestler like Damion Hahn to the fold, and he's so fast too. In on a single.
Nice high crotch. Stays with it, brings Bennett back towards the center of the mat, readjusts, tries to kick out the back leg, lift the leg a little higher. No takedown yet, although there were supporting points down. Now they gave it to him.
So the takedown for Damion Hahn, and leads it by the score of 4-1. Paul Marina is the head coach of Troy Bennett, with another wrestler in the finals. You notice the good teams have several wrestlers who get to the finals. Hapsagami had 3, and Camden Catholic a couple. 1 minute to wrestle here in this first period, with Hahn leading by the score of 4-2, with 2 escapes for Bennett.
A little spin by Hahn, and then a release to go up 6-3.
And the wrestlers go off. This is the kind of match that almost becomes a two-sheeter when you talk about your score sheet. Because Hahn will let him up and take him down. He doesn't always work for falls, although he has so many of them.
Again, front head and arm, putting a lot of pressure on Troy Bennett. Does a little spin, picks up his 2, and immediately goes for the release again.
Makes the score 8-4. Damion Hahn.
High crotch into a fireman's, nice dump. Another 2-point takedown.
Makes the score 10-4. That was almost reminiscent of the move he used to deck John Palachi from Millville with a fall in the semifinals earlier today. So time winds out. 10-4, Damion Hahn already at the end of the first. Miles Matson in the blue is the head coach. Mads Matson, and Miles Hahn, gentleman with a beard, is Damien's father.
Here's a little high crotch. Nice little dump. Boy, that's just a lot of great penetration, able to get Bennett up on his shoulders. He just follows through.
We've seen a lot of great wrestlers. Any comparisons, Damion Hahn to?
You know, that's a good question. You know, he doesn't wrestle like a big guy. He wrestles like he's a middleweight, and you don't see a lot of big guys with that kind of offense. Usually it's a lot of upper body stuff. It just bulls Bennett over for another takedown off of a quarter Nelson. Maybe the one that comes to my mind is Colin Kilrain. He's a 190-pounder for Lehigh. A lot of offensive moves. You may want to mention names like Bannock's from Iowa.
I'm going to make our friends down in Pennsylvania happy. Kind of reminds me of Brandon Slay.
There you go.
The way he's cut, the way he's built. I think Slay went on to become third in the nation. Was the highest that he went.
Another high crotch. Slips behind.
He's going to let him out just like that. Makes the score 14-7 for those trying to keep track. A little throw by attempt. Goes awry, and Hahn is off. Damion Hahn has been impressive. already has 7 takedowns, and we have 1:07 to wrestle here in the second period.
Bennett attempts at a shot, blocked by Hahn. Hahn will spin, picking up his 8th takedown.
16-7. Cuts him loose. 16-8. And back in on a signal, and there's another takedown. And he cuts him loose again. 18-9 is the score for Damion Hahn with 37 seconds to go. And here is almost a double for Bennett. Kind of got the crowd excited, and a little flurry as they go off. So Bennett's not done wrestling yet.
Almost got a duck under on Hahn. I'll tell you what, you've got to give Troy Bennett some credit. A lot of guys would just close down shop and just try to get off the mat. He's still wrestling out there.
And he gets a nice hand from the crowd. And you know what? As a junior at 33-1, the second seed, if he can stay at this weight, you might be looking at next year's champ at 189 and Troy Bennett.
Damion Hahn's just too much of a wrestler for him this year. No question about it.
Going to cut him loose, and it's 20-10. Hahn on his way to become a Golden Gopher, gets another takedown.
So Hahn now is within 3 of a technical fall. So if he starts this period from the bottom position, gets out and adds a takedown, we can end the match.
Sorry, Rich, we've wrestled 2 periods. 22-10. Damion Hahn will become a 3-time state champion. Just the 16th person to do it. We already had one do it today, and Mark Worthy from Central Regional. And Damion Hahn will join that elite group.
Bennett riding a one-on-one. Off the whistle, tried to tilt Hahn. Hahn now working to his base. Bennett tries to throw a cradle, but he can't crunch Hahn. Damion Hahn now comes to his feet and comes neutral.
Damion Hahn is just the 8th wrestler in New Jersey history to go into the finals all 4 years of eligibility. Lost in the finals as a freshman and then won the next 3. Well, it's not over yet, but he has 123 to go. I just gave him a state championship. 23-10. Damion Hahn out front. Has shown us almost every takedown move in the repertoire here today.
There's not many more left, I can tell you that. He will try to add one final takedown and to end his career, his high school career, with a technical fall. And there's the front head arm and spin.
And the technical fall comes with 58 seconds to wrestle. 25-10, Damion Hahn wins by technical fall. So Damion Hahn is on his way to Minnesota. Gets a standing ovation from the crowd as they have witnessed one of the all-time wrestlers. He's congratulated by the opposing coach, Paul Marina, from Paulsboro, and the referees as well. And he salutes the crowd as Damion Hahn shakes hands with his father, gets a congratulatory hug, and we'll hear from him in just a moment. I'll tell you what, Damion Hahn on his way to Minnesota, the governor out there, Jesse the Body Ventura, is going to love having him in the fold. We'll be back in a moment.
Standing here with possibly the greatest wrestler in the history of New Jersey, Damion Hahn. Damion, congratulations, that's your 3rd state title.
Thanks a lot. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. I'd just like to thank everybody in the state, the fans, the people who come down to support me, like these guys here to go to our club. If it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't be doing as good as I am now. I love to do it for the people here. They come to support me, and I love to give them a show, like put on something for them.
Now, next year, you're going to go to college. You're going to Minnesota. The governor in Minnesota could probably show you a thing or two. You're going to ask him some wrestling questions?
Yeah, if I ever meet him. He's governor in Minnesota. He's a great guy. I've seen him before. Talked to him a little bit. He's all for sports. I think he's going to do a good job there.
There's nothing more we can say. Just a fantastic job. Your numbers could stand for a very long time here. Damion Hahn, some fans of his, congratulations, man. An excellent effort.
Thank you.
Damion Hahn, possibly I shook hands with greatness because he might be the best we'll ever see.
And all the young fans want his autograph too, Rob. I'll tell you what, Damion Hahn, one of the all-time